Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Cone Dodger here. Welcome back to Formula One 2018 as we get ready for the Hungaroring and a interesting race setup that we have here after a pretty disappointing qualifying session. Hopefully, we can have a good race and make up for that. Otherwise, this might be the start of quite a different trend of our F1 season.
It's always wonderful to come back to the lively Hungaroring. A popular destination this, nice and close to the beautiful city of Budapest, with some exciting racing to boot. Who can forget Michael Schumacher pushing his old teammate Rubens Barrichello up towards the pit wall in 2010, or those great races of 2014 and 2015 as well. 14 corners then for our drivers to navigate at the 2.7-mile Hungaroring today. It's 6 lefts and 8 rights around a lap here, with average speeds in the region of 120 miles per hour. Joining me for the Grand Prix once again is Anthony Davidson. Now I want to ask you about Nico Hülkenberg. There's a new gearbox in the back of that car, which means a grid penalty, and hopefully some excitement as they make their way through the field.
Fingers crossed that's one failure they won't have to worry about today at least. There's not much of a silver lining to starting down the field with a penalty, but I think they'll be able to make some of that back up over the course of the race.
First time we've had one of those in a while. Also, did anybody see the pace car leaning on the front stretch? That was funny.
It's Valtteri Bottas that completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the
I thought those Red Bulls were quick.
Sainz, Fernando Alonso, and Magnussen, Perez, Gasly,
Wow.
Hülkenberg. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty.
Okay.
And red, Ocon, Verstappen, Lewis Hamilton, and Van Dorn, Leclerc, Raikkonen, Brendan Hartley, and Lance Stroll, Ericsson, and Sergei Sirotkin rounds off the grid.
Huh. Well, at least we start 10th.
We have a good chance of getting a podium today, so have a clean race and stay out of trouble.
I'm sorry, what did Jeff just say? A good chance of a podium today? Starting from 10th in Hungary? Man, I'll have what he's having. Alright, since we are in 11th, that means we have an open tire strategy. That means that we can start on new tires rather than old tires. That means that they're going to have us starting on the soft and going to the medium. Sucks for me because I don't like the harder compounds, but it's pretty much undoubtable. It's pretty much set in stone that is going to be the faster of the tire strategies this weekend, even though I don't like it. That is what it is. Looks like we're a little bit tight on fuel, so I'm going to add an extra lap of fuel into there so that we have something to use. But this is a kind of track that we don't really need to mess with Rich Mix too much on anyway. Okay, let's see what we can do with this run down to turn 1. It's a pretty good one. It's not one of the worst. I'm like trying to get a view down there. If I can keep the nose clean, hopefully we can pick up a few spots. Alright, give me a moment here to get this thing down to turn 1, please. I bogged a bit, but I think that's better than spinning the tires. Or Ocon just flying by me there. That was nice. And we grabbed a couple positions there. Magnussen locking them up. I gotta remember that I'm on the harder tire versus the cars around me, so they could potentially have some pace on us here early on. I just gotta hope to stay with them long enough that things equal out, and then eventually I should be on the faster tire. This track is pretty difficult on tires.
That's a strong start. Well done.
So it shouldn't take too terribly long. P8 isn't exactly the fairy tale result of lap 1, but it's not the worst. I really wanted to be up there with Magnussen. I can't believe how good of a run Alonso's having here. It's a shame his car's gonna break. Keep on that power. Still ahead of Gasly here, who really shouldn't have more pace than us. Although he did in qualifying, technically, I suppose. But I really do think that I underperformed in qualifying. I didn't get the most out of the car, so we should be able to outpace him. I'm having to play a little bit more aggressive of a strategy than I would like to, especially at a track as tough as this one. And that includes how I'm driving the track. Pretty aggressive over the curbs in places. Pretty aggressive on the battery usage as well. Back end really wanting to wander out on me there. Considering the difference in tire, we're keeping up pace pretty well. I think once the tires equal out, we should be in good shape here.
DRS is now enabled. Will be available to use when you are within 1 second of the car ahead in the DRS zone.
A little bit deep into there for these tires, but not too bad. And of course the additional fuel weight. You can see Magnussen's not stepping away from Perez. Perez is not stepping away from us. Field's pretty stuck together right there. That's good news for us on these tires. That will help this strategy come around for us, and hope that everybody else is going to be two-stopping. I kind of have my doubts there.
Monitoring somewhere on the ICE. Be aware that we will start to see a loss of power.
Those are the kind of messages that I really could just do without. Seems like stuff that would be said maybe before the race. I'm just going to be on DRS down here. We'll see if that results in any passes. Perez just rocketed away from us.
The leader is 7.6 seconds.
That was surprising. Must have been on high power mode or something. All that has done is really group this field together very strongly. The mid-pack is not that far from the front pack today. And that's the kind of thing that can happen at a track like this. However, as much as I do love the track, it is pretty difficult to pass that. I have to say. Not the raciest of racetracks in the world. It just happens to be pretty fun to drive. And is pretty technically challenging for the cars as well. Build up some battery charge for that front straightaway. It's possible. Running this close to Perez is going to be having our car get hot, but we should be okay with that. I think I see a teal dot behind me, which means that Bottas is making his way through the field. I think that's who that is. It's going to be a problem for us. I do feel like my tires are starting to come around versus the cars ahead of me.
We're accumulating some wear on the MGUK. To manage this, we'll need to lower our ERS
Easy.
deployment mode.
Honestly, in a race like this, I'm tempted to just tell Jeff to shut up, but I know that would just cause me to lose some kind of information I really need. It's actually hard to to gain all of the braking recovery I would want to in traffic like this, because I feel like I just can't push the braking zones as hard as I would like to. I'm trying to stay with Perez here down the straightaways, but I'm having difficulties. I feel like I might just be running more aero than they are. Which is maybe why we struggled with qualifying as well. Problem is, all this extra grip between the tires and the aero is only paying me dividends in places that don't really matter on track. I tell you what, it is very nerve-wracking to be this close to Perez all the time. There's a front wing danger. A, we're not getting front downforce like I would like, and B, all it takes is one slip by him or by me, and my front wing is gone.
We think the car behind might be struggling with fuel issues. See if you can increase the gap.
Sounds like that Toro Rosso actual Honda is perhaps running rich. Okay, here we go. This is where the strategies diverge. I got DRS here, which is nice. Try to have a nice lap here out on my own.
Engine is showing small signs of wear. Power output
Oh,
will be down.
Jeff, just shut up. This is not what I need right now. Or ever, really. If I'm honest. A bit more I could be getting through here. This is the time I really need to do it. I think we can see that we are definitely, despite not running, you know, green or purple deltas anywhere, I think we were closing in on that Ferrari up ahead of us. So there's definitely a difference in tire wear there. I'm very curious how this one-stop versus two-stop strategy will play out, though. We were right up with that pack of cars. Okay, Vettel is also on this strategy. He is with us, so there was not a big difference there. Verstappen behind us is on a completely different strategy altogether, as he is still out on Ultras. Started on a fresh pair, I presume. So Vettel will be a pretty good gauge for us, actually.
Okay, gap ahead is 3.7 seconds.
Don't worry about it. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Don't worry about it. I might have to let Verstappen go, as he's just going to be pressuring me into mistakes and pressuring me to overdrive the car and overrun these tires. Just accept that he's on a different strategy than us. I was hoping he could snake by right there, but he didn't. Hopefully he can do it in DRS. Maybe he'd be pitting there, but no. Right, should be able to fly by us here.
Vettel's taken the lead.
Yep. Alright, let's see if I can hang with him. But boy, look at the difference in speed right there with him on DRS. There's double DRS zone here. Meaning only one activation point or one testing point, whatever they call it, for where it engages. But you get it twice for that.
Okay, we should be good on tyres for a while. The wear doesn't seem too bad at the moment. Just take care when you load them up.
At least the wear doesn't look bad yet. It's just hard to be going up against cars on different tires. It's hard to know how hard you should be pushing the car. The car definitely feels a lot more oversteery than it did all of practice and qualifying. It's very different than it was. It's going to be pit stop here for Verstappen. He might be trying to one-stop it still.
Car behind has boxed for the mediums. Car behind on the medium tyre.
Everybody else went to mediums, huh? They might be trying to one-stop it. I could be wrong with that. Or that's just a completely different strategy altogether. This might be one where we just honestly don't know the outcome until the end of the race. Which I guess is a dumb statement, but I just mean that I don't know where we're going to shake out into the field until all of the strategy is done. I guess we'll have a pretty good idea after we pit. It would seem to me that if people are going to pit twice, we'll be in front of them, but on a weaker tire. And if they're not, they'll be in front of us, but we'll have a better tire. I don't know that that's going to make a huge difference. I'm running Ricardo hard here because if I hold him up, it helps us later in the race. And he is the actual race leader. It's a bit silly for me to do that.
Okay, we lost the position. Try to keep focus.
It's crazy to think that there's a potential that Daniel could be going 22 laps or so, I guess, on one set of tires versus what we're trying to do, but sometimes there's a lot of strategy at play, and it's hard to think about exactly the ramifications of them while trying to keep the car on track, which is why at the end of the day I was really happy with what I did at Hockenheim, even though the drivers behind us, directly behind us, weren't very pleased with the strategy that I ended up picking. I was really pleased with the way that I managed that in the race. I didn't think there was a lot I could have done differently. Well, I take that back. Yes, of course, knowing how the race played out, there is a lot I could have done differently. However, I don't think, given the information I had during the race, I ever would have made a different choice there. The only information I have is the information that I feel in the car and the limited graphic user interface. That's the only place I'm getting information on how things are going strategy-wise. And the random snippets from Jeff that mean nothing. How cool would it be, though, if they could merge this game with something like a racing manager where co-op mode doesn't mean two people driving. Co-op mode means one person's the team engineer and one person's the driver. Would it be insanely popular? I doubt it. I don't think a lot of people want to do that. But I do think there is a pretty sizable chunk of people that would find that interesting. To sit there and be like acting engineer for a race. We've gained fuel.
We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the mediums. Gap to
Getting a
teammate
drink, I'm
behind
sorry.
is 20.6 seconds.
Hey, that's very valuable information. 20-second gap to our teammate means that we have not lost a lot of time. And we may, even on this one-stop strategy, come out right in the middle of that field with them having to pit again. And if it's not a one-stop strategy, or if it's not a two-stop for them, that means we'll still be in the ballpark and on fresher tires. So not the end of the world. I think we got 2 more laps before I pit. I think it has enough in it. I'm sure Arachnid's gonna get around me here. If I had to make a guess at this point of the race, I would say we're probably gonna end up either 6th or 7th in the end results. It's just a guesstimate based on what's going on around me. The annoying engine noises are back. Times are still okay. Hasn't been a lot of shenanigans in the race. No retirements. No major incidents that I saw. Which I think is what we need. We don't need safety cars or anything in this one. We need it to play out. It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how it plays out. So we're going to go 20 laps on mediums. That means that Ricardo ahead of us is going 25-ish laps on mediums. It's not a huge difference, but it seems pretty crazy.
Our gap to the car in front is 6.8 seconds.
And look at the gap he's pulled, doing what he's done on the mediums. Fast car. The car's really good here. I would say Verstappen will probably make it up to 2nd or 3rd, despite his qualifying.
We're boxing this lap. Give us the best in lap you can.
Will do. Surprising there to see the Ferrari not pass us on DRS. We are on the same tires at this point. We may be saving fuel. Have a nice in-lap here. That was messy.
Right, we think the car behind might start to have fuel management issues. Let's see if we can use this to our advantage over the next few
Isn't
laps.
that bizarre? How many times I make a call about the cars around me with no information other than just watching, their pace and whatnot. No information besides that. I predicted that he was running on a lean mix.
Box, box, box.
That's pretty wild. How often that kind of thing happens. Is he pitting behind us? Sure is. Okay. So in theory, we're running the same strategy. What I'm worried about is where we come out. How does the traffic situation look? Because it could be ugly. It looks like it is going to be ugly.
Go, exit now. We're
Hey,
racing
we
on
made
the
it out in
exit.
front of the Ferrari. I didn't expect that. Yep, there comes the pack. Hey, they're
Up to
passing
speed
us.
now. Let's get
That's
some heat into
good.
those tyres.
Except for the fact it dumped us out into that pack. Alright. I like this. Because no matter what the strategy is for everybody else now, we are still in contention for a good result. It's going to take these tires a lap to get up to speed, or so. Boy, they are in trouble. Something is going on right here.
Out of the race.
What? What? Why? Oh. Well, so much for that resurgence. That sucks. I think Perez and Sainz are on softs and they're struggling or something. Do you see how slow they were right there? I think we're going to have to probably go on the attack here on our new tires. It'll be difficult because I don't think we have the straightaway speed of the cars ahead of us.
The gap to the
But
leader
that's
is
everything I have. There's nothing else in the car. But we do have new tires. And that's what made the difference, really. I didn't even see a message on the screen that he had dropped out of the race. I wonder if it happened on his pit stop or something. Well, it's up to me today. I've got to score some really good points. That's going to hurt us, even though we're in good shape there. I find it hard to believe that these two aren't pitting again. They must be. There's no way. Yeah, I'm doing math in my head right now. It hurts. You could probably smell the smoke, but I just don't see it possible. Especially at the pace they're going right now. Boy, that's frustrating when they're faster in a straight line, but you're... Whoo, buddy! How many front wings are we going to give the Renault cars this weekend? Here, take this! The closing rate was just unbelievable at the apex there, and it got me all discombobulated. Alright, be patient, Cone. Work the track, and just wait for a good opportunity to pass, rather than any opportunity. Especially if this is going to be a non-fought-for position at the end of the day. The only position we're going to end up fighting, I think, is that red dot behind us who's on the same tire strategy as us. Red dot, of course, meaning the Ferrari dot behind us. Don't. Yeah, just don't. There's the sound of the shifter going as I move into Rich Mix. That's how I have that mapped. But it's still not enough. Really dangerous having a much higher apex speed than the car in front of you. He's recovering energy right there. That's why we closed that bit. See, I'm torn right now. It feels fruitless to battle these two if they're going to pit again. But I'm also then losing time overall to the cars on the same strategy as me being trapped behind them. So that's a tough position to be in. What I really need is for Science to drop out of DRS range. That's what's really frustrating me. I tried to seal it in there, but then the game decided to hang up a little bit in the middle of the turn, of course. Why wouldn't it? Easy. I'd love to try and outbreak them right here, but they are a little bit better on the brakes right there than me. That's two things working against us, is that we know this car doesn't have the best brakes, and also it seems like, at least at this track, we don't have the best straightaway speed. I am insanely lucky. I bow down to the RNGesus, and I thank you all for allowing me to still have a front wing. I do not deserve this.
Signs is stopping now.
Yeah, probably because I just punctured his rear tire. Okay, well, at least that frustration is over. And now we just have to deal with trying to hold off a Ferrari. Trying. Who's been back there just able to chill rather than us battling. I got fuel for days though.
The gap to the car ahead is 7.5 seconds.
That's the gap that we were losing. We were losing out to Hamilton that whole time. Okay. Regained my focus. Now Hamilton's on softs. Has he pit twice or no? He may not have. So that might be another battle for us. I think he's on pit road now. I think he's actually leaving. No, he's on pit road. Okay. So that leaves us in fourth. Battling for fifth, and I think that's it. I think that is strategy complete for everybody. I am going to take it as easy as I can, knowing how hard this track is to pass. And it doesn't seem like he's got that great of a run on us down the straightaways, so that gives us a little bit of hope that we might be able to hold this position. And my main objective is going to be save those tires as much as I can. Especially the rears. Which using this rich mix doesn't do exactly, but I modulate throttle usage enough, it should be alright. Yeah, I get a better run than he does out of there.
Gap to car in front is 16.1 seconds.
Oops. Today I learned... Okay, we're back. That the DRS, or not the DRS, the Track IR pause button is also the look behind button. Today I learned. Just wanted to see if I could pause it so I could get a drink without freaking you guys out. But instead I probably freaked you out even more. And definitely freaked myself out. Pretty rigorous race. one of the longer ones, I think, and overall it's just a very busy track. A lot of precision goes into getting around here in a fast manner. I think early in the race I said it was Bottas behind us, but no, it was Hamilton that started back end of the field.
Ricardo's leading the race.
So it's Ricardo, Verstappen, Bottas. I guess the only other person that I think might be on a slightly different strategy would be Verstappen in second. But I think he probably has enough gap on us that it won't matter. It was wide, but he didn't have enough of a run. That was wide for the effect of, let's keep from sliding those front tires, because my corner entry was a little too hot. And that's kind of the nature of the track. This would be a very frustrating situation for Kimi to be in. Because around this track, there's just nothing he can do unless he's got a really good run out of the last turn, DRS full power, full battery power even. Maybe then he could make a move, but other than that, there's not a lot he can do. And unfortunately for him, I got nothing but fuel to use.
Our gap to first place is 40.4 seconds.
Wow. That's unbelievable. That was definitely the right car for this track. So much to do. Changing those fuel mixes, changing the engine mode. While trying to hit the turn. Listening to Jeff talk. I guess that's what he does. Talk. It's a lot for the brain to process. Oh yeah, this whole commentary thing that I do. I've lost my edge around that turn a bit. I had a better line through there originally. So I hope you can see the difference between the laps I was doing in practice to begin with versus the laps now. How much choppier and hesitant my steering was then versus now. They look much more like a smooth, kind of sweeping motion. It just seems to be the way that I learn these cars on these tracks is I kind of just chop at the wheel and at the throttle and brake, and I use that as kind of like a calibration. And then by the time we get into the race, and you know, a good ways into the race, I have a much better idea of what the inputs are actually going to do. So yeah, by this point of the race, they can be smoother, and I can
Gap ahead is 16.3 seconds.
drive a little bit smoother. Save some battery power here. That's not something that really happens intentionally, it's basically involuntary. Hamilton is flying. He might catch us by the end of this race if his tires don't give out by the end of the race. So I'm holding up Kimi pretty significantly, and neither one of us are on the better tire. I think he might be on supers. or ultras, whatever the soft tire was. And if not, he's at least on softs. And he's gonna be quick. Maybe seconds a lap faster than us. So that'll be an interesting end of the race. But he's gonna have the same problem. To a lesser degree, because he's gonna have an actual advantage. Better tires. The reason Raikkonen struggling to pass us so much is because he's in the same situation. We have virtually the same amount of power in our cars. He's on the same age of tire. I think he's as tight as can be on fuel. I think we already determined that earlier in the race. So there's only so much he can do. We're not going to worry about what just happened there. Everything's fine. I'm trying to save battery power while simultaneously not letting him get a good run down the straightaway. Difficult to do.
The turbocharger is on its last legs. Let's try to keep mileage on it to a minimum.
Could you please explain to me how I should do that in the middle of this race, Jeff? Just give me a little clue as to how I can reduce the mileage
Our gap to
on the
car in front
turbocharger
is 16.6 seconds.
in the race. I would love to know. Yeah, I've been trying to get this battery up above 50% for a while now. It's been a struggle. Run there. 29. Hamilton's now within eye shot. Every lap he's not passing us, though, is every lap that his tires stop being a huge advantage to us. Or slow down being a huge advantage to us, or become less of a huge advantage to us. Hey, I found the right words eventually. But that gap closes every lap that he's catching us, not passing us. But it might still be an inevitability. Our car has gotten light enough finally. The handling started to come around a little bit with it. It's actually picking up a bit of pace. That's a good battery saving lap. I'm sure it's been hard on the engine having this thing enriched for so long, but pretty much what I have to do.
The car ahead is 15.4 seconds.
Seems like Verstappen did manage to one-stop it somehow. Alright, they're battling now. Hamilton has gotten around. He's on the softs. Alright, so that's actually the situation I'm more worried about.
Green flag.
Because that means that his tires... Easy. His tires will last a little bit longer. What was the green flag for? I don't know. But why is there a red dot behind me again? I don't see Hamilton anywhere in there. Did he break down? I didn't see anybody out of the race. There was a yellow flag. I wonder if he went off or something. Oh, there he is. Yeah, he's back there. I guess he went off, or they had contact or something. Well, this is good news. This is very good news.
Ricardo's out in front.
Oh, I thought he was about to say out. I was about to be heartbroken for virtual Ricardo. Okay. Well, this is interesting. I wonder if Hamilton's going to get back to him. I think that would only be good for us. We are really in the catbird seat for this P4 right now. From some of my best sectors. Even on these old tires, the car really has come around. I think the wear is pretty slow on these mediums, so that's believable. Not like trying to get for a fast lap.
Okay, gap to leader, 45.8 seconds.
45 seconds. He could put his engine on mode 0. He could put it in cruise control and still win this race. That's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy.
We have 5 laps of fuel remaining.
Yeah, I'm trying to burn it off.
Gap to car in front is 15.1 seconds.
There's some time lost. One of the first.
Okay, some information on signs. They're slowing down. It seems like there's some kind of problem with their car.
No safety car, no safety car, no safety car. Okay. Looks like we're good. I was about to say something, but who knows what. Let's just get to the end of this darn race. It's been stressful. Not that it's been like crazy eventful, it's just been another one of those constant pressure races. Except I think, unlike our last constant pressure race, I think I've handled it a little bit better this time around, and I've just driven a pretty smart race for a situation that's not my favorite. I much prefer to be on the aggressive tire strategy, the softer compound tire strategy, than the hey, let's try to save tire strategy. That's not generally the way I like the races to go, but sometimes that's just what you gotta do. And I'm the one that put us in this situation with the poor qualifying effort. But in a way, it's the poor qualifying effort, starting 11th, that gave us this window of opportunity to do this tire strategy, to try and do the one stop. The only other way we could have done that would have been to have qualified on the harder compound, and that wouldn't have happened. You could see that, judging by our qualifying pace. They wanted to go wide on me there for some reason. So yeah, I mean, sometimes things just work out, and this might be one of those cases. Still, 2 laps to go though. I feel like we're going to have to replace a lot of engine parts here soon. This race has been immensely hard on the engine. Most of the components, actually. That will put us on some bad footing.
Okay, gap ahead is 14.0 seconds.
I need an adult, new pants, and a nebulizer.
We have 2 laps of fuel remaining.
I guess the rear tires have started to go, huh? I guess that has happened. Oy, oy, oy. My wee little heart can't take that. We got a decent gap. Let's take it pretty easy here.
This is your final lap of the race.
Good thing. Have the new pants ready, please. New pants ready in the garage. Thank you. Alright, car. Let's just take it easy. Oh, shoot. We can't take it easy. Hamilton has made it around, and he mad. He's gonna be on a tear. Oh. Dan's already won the race. Hopefully I got the tires cooled off. And it's behaving better. I think he's gonna get here. I don't want to give him any opportunity to have DRS though. I think we're gonna make it. Think we're gonna make it. Ooh.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
I think a little bit more excitement is in order, my friend, because that was a pretty mega drive, I think, with only a couple mega butt-clenching moments.
It was a magnificent race and a drive right out of the
Christian
top
Horner?
draw to take the win for Red Bull today.
Look like him.
And I have to wonder, Anthony Davidson, just what set them apart from the competition here.
The difference was clearly in the strategy.
Does he do a
You can
shoey?
tell they'd done a lot of work on the pit wall to really
I
optimise
bet you
each
he doesn't.
stint.
This
and
game
get the
isn't
most
about
out
fun.
of the tyres. And it highlights just how much of a team sport this really is.
And I can see now the drivers are making their way out. We need Red Bull fighting at the front. They do an incredible
They got
amount
the smile,
for Formula
at least.
One.
They got the
and
smile.
That's another winner's trophy heading
I don't think
back
they got
to
the
Milton
shoey.
Keynes.
Nope. Well, fine then. That would have been funny.
And
It
after
would have been
this
funny,
round of the World
Codemasters.
Championship, here's how things look in the drivers' table.
better be
It's a
driver of the
good
day.
result for Sebastian Vettel, who moves further ahead at the top of the table. Moving on to the driver of the day then. Anthony Davidson, who would you go for?
I think it's got to be Kimi Raikkonen.
What?
He's not always spectacular, but he quietly gets the job done. And that's the case today.
And now let's take a look at the constructors'
Sure.
standings. Ferrari extend their lead at the top of the championship. That's it for today's Grand Prix, and from Ant and I, it's goodbye, and see you again next time.
Well, he may not have said we were driver of the day, but we're the driver of the day in my mind. From 10th to 4th in a car that I don't really think was a 4th place car here. I think this was much more a 5th, 6th, 7th place car here. We did turn a good lap, but that was really at the hands, I think, of DRS. I really do think we were a 6th, 7th, 8th place car. I do think Magnussen would have been a good fight for us had he not DNF'd. That really sucks that that happened. But this is the kind of fight that we wanted. This is the kind of fighting that we wanted right in the good part of the field. It was Ricardo Vettel Bottas. I thought it was Verstappen up there for some reason. Verstappen only comes home in 8th after starting 12th. Pretty good day. Pretty good day. Not good for our rivalry battle. I think that one's not going to go too well now, but hey, I'll take it. Alright, well, that was Hungary. Thank you as always for watching, and I will see you next time, assuming there's not an interview, which I bet you there will be. I knew it.
Amazing performance out there. You must be really happy.
I am.
Did you struggle to get through all that traffic today?
chassis. We'll like that.
It looks like your rival bested you today, doesn't it?
Why can't I choose the other one? He's a great driver. I've left learned from him. His car was performing better today. I guess that's a no commenter.
Well,
Thanks anyway.
thanks anyway.
Meh. 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 Meh.